Welcome, everybody. Hello. Glad to have you here. Welcome brand new lifetime members and welcome guests. We've opened up today's session to a whole bunch of you to give you a preview on what we're working on in the month of April. I'm Rob Booker. I'm your host. I'm glad to be here and to spend some time with you. So first of all, welcome. And then next, I want to walk you through what we're going to do in April of 2018 here. The first and most important thing that we're going to do is we're going to simplify. We're going to reduce the amount of time that it takes to profit from what you can learn. I'm not interested in anyone here becoming crazy about how often we trade or how much we trade or how complicated we make it. I want you to be able to consume the most important content for lifetime members in 5 minutes a day. I want to be able to send you something that you could get through in 5 minutes that would give you a core lesson that you could get through in a day. And then if you want to spend more time than 5 minutes, I'll send you, as you know, I'm a content machine and I'll have more out there if you want it. So the goal is simplicity and to simplify. That's the most important thing. And we're gonna really dive deeply into this, but this means more quickly delivered trade alerts to you if I feel like it's time to take a trade. More consistent times of the day when those trade alerts arrive. The ability to copy my trades again if you live outside the United States or inside the United States. So if you want to just have me take the trades and then you follow along, you could do that as well, and we'll just simplify everything. Now that means we're going to change the way that your membership pages look inside of lifetime membership, which we've already done, thanks to Nate. Thank you very much. We still have a welcome orientation area here. Today's presentation will actually be the #1 and only new member orientation webinar. So we're going to delist the other ones that are there, and this will be the only one that's listed in here, along with a couple of other things and our webinar recordings. But you're also going to see already here brand new lessons on Introduction to Trading FX. If you're brand new to Trading FX, we'll do one for other financial instruments as well. But you can, this is for our members out there who have said, I'm okay, I'm willing to trade currency or whatever, but I don't know anything about it. And this is a brand new set of lessons that takes you from start to finish. This is maybe the most important thing I've done in a long time. This is a set of lessons, goals for new traders. It talks about expectations. It talks about how quickly you should be able to profit and what goals can be. And anyway, it's one of the new courses that we've done. And we also have a brand new set of lessons on getting started with MetaTrader 4 if you're not familiar with that platform. It is the most popular platform in the world. And then, of course, inside of the robots class, we have brand new lessons on trading the Finch robot, Honeymoon Style, which means no open trades that are holding losses, no long-term trades that are holding on to drawdown, consistent small profits on a regular basis, and that page is going to take 3 years to load, so we're not going to wait for it, and we're going to move on. There are lots of good things coming your way. Now, if you trade stocks, that's great. We're going to get around to that in a minute, but whatever you trade in the month of April, we are going to revolutionize the way that I deliver content to you for making money. Now, there's always going to be lots of extra content about goal setting and the way that we run our lives personally to set goals and whatnot. But imagine this. We've got I'm always going to have the robots running. And if you don't have the robots running, that's fine. But I am always going to have them running, and I'm running them what I call honeymoon style, which means 18 to 21 currency pairs running all the time, and I'm closing trades down every 24 to 48 hours, and I'm never holding on to any significant losses, and it's generating consistent profits. Small profits, but as I increase the trade size, those profits become much bigger. I will always have those running, and that is requiring about 5 minutes a day of maintenance. There's no long-term holding on to losses ever. I'm never doing that again. That's not going to happen. Number two, here's what we're going to do. Imagine the month divided up into two sections. And I'm going to call this beginning of month, and I'm going to call this end of month. Now remember, all of this is designed to help you make money because it's designed to help me make money, which is important. At the beginning of the month, we're going to have roughly 50 financial instruments across the spectrum of currencies, maybe futures, and stocks. Currencies and stocks. We're going to have a total universe of 50 that we are going to be willing to look at. And as the month progresses, the number of financial instruments that we are willing to look at will be reduced by the quality of the setups that are coming. By the end of the month, we're going to have approximately 5 trades to take total, with explicit, clear instructions on where we're getting in and where we're getting out. And this is our prime time. It will be delivered in what you already know to be the end of month report, but I'm going to deliver that in a format that's easier to read, more clearly designates the trades that we're taking, and we're going to spend the month in an exciting race to see what 5 financial instruments, some currencies and some stocks, so it doesn't matter what you're interested in, make the cut. The beginning of the month is preparation time, it's goal setting time, it's reading time, it's self-improvement time, it's becoming a better person time, it's filling your life with the things that matter the most. And then at the end of the month is the prime time for taking trades that make a giant pile of money that gets you to where you want to be in your life. In other words, you have something that's most important in your life. Nate, you can think of it right now. I'm going to think of mine right now. Something that's really important to me in my life. The most important thing. It might be your family, your church, your service, your relationship with God, your relationship with your children. It could be service to a community. Whatever it is, the most important thing in your life. It's probably not pressing the buttons on a computer to take trades. Trading should pay for that most important thing. And I'm going to help you do that. And we're going to structure, starting in April, we're going to structure our lifetime member content. And your membership is going to be structured so that if you're running the robots, those are producing consistent, regular, small profits. And then we're going to take a group of trades together as a family at the end of the month. Now you could also layer into that trade copying. For those of you that are not familiar with what that is I have a trading account that's running. I'll be taking trades in that account, and those trades will be automatically copied into your account, whether you're awake or asleep, or whether your computer's closed or it's open or anything else. That service is completely free. I don't charge anything for it, and it's only available to our members, of course. If you live inside the United States, there will be a technology fee associated with that because there just isn't a dealer willing to connect the accounts. Outside of the United States, Global Prime, the dealer in Australia, will connect your account to mine with no technology fee, absolutely free. And that's a service to members so that if you're starting out or if you want to make some money while you go, you copy my trades. I can't make any promises about trade copying, that would be ridiculous, but I've always run a profitable trade copying service in the past. I suspect that I could have a losing streak at any time, but I think I feel comfortable knowing what I'm doing, and I feel better when I'm doing that. All right, the next thing that we're going to focus on over the course of this month, and especially in the next couple of days, is we're going to talk about running your trading like a business. This has been a topic on my mind for quite some time. I am going to include a link below this video inside of our members area. So, and it will be a link to this page here, Nate, and everyone else. And it is a summary of the book, The EMyth Revisited, which is a ridiculously awesome book published in the mid-1980s about the fact that most people are running their business like a complete dummy. Here's the greatest quote from the book. If your business depends on you, you don't own a business, you have a job. And it's the worst job in the world because you're working for a lunatic. Most people think about their trading in the same way. This is a summary of the book, and I'm going to walk through this summary for you right now. And I'm going to talk about how, as a family of traders around the world, we're going to think about this in a much more productive way. And we're going to go from thinking about trading as a lifestyle, meaning everything in your life revolves around trading, to trading for a living, which means you're running your trading like a business. And I'm going to explain what that means, and it's critically important. Number one, most people in the world think that trading means that you know about trading stuff. You know about indicators or economic reports. Okay, fine. So you know about all that stuff. Knowing about trading is not running a business as a trader. Just because you know, Nate, how to cross lines or draw like items on your charts doesn't mean you're running a business or can make any money from it. It just means you're knowledgeable about a bunch of things that you can place on a chart. There are a lot of people in the world, in fact, the majority of traders know how to put 1,000 different things up on this screen. That doesn't make them a business, and it doesn't make them profitable. And in fact, it's the worst possible way that you can spend your time. I'm not interested in that. I can teach you a system in about 10 minutes on our webinars, and we're all going to follow the same thing. That's not running your business, and that's not trading for a living, and that's not making profits. Learning about indicators and systems and entries and exits is not running a business, and it's not making profits. Not for anyone in the world. There's no one in the world right now who has become an expert in technical analysis, and because they're an expert in technical analysis, they're making a living from trading. That's just not happening. However, there are people, like our family members, Scott Haywood and others, who are running their trading like a business, who are making money, and who are living off of the profits from that trading. And what are the distinguishing factors? How does someone go from one to the other? Well, first of all, we're going to spend 25 days of the month talking about running your trading business, and we're going to spend 5 to 6 days doing the trading. In other words, we're going to work on improving our business. We're not going to work on learning more about charts. Although I can teach you about charts, and there will be plenty of lessons about charts, and there are, God knows, I have more courses available to lifetime members than anyone. There's so much information inside your membership area, it's ridiculous. I mean, we're not lacking in a number of trading courses. We got that covered. We're not lacking in any of that. So if you want to learn systems, we've got you covered. But systems don't make you, trading systems don't make you money. Running your systems in a business makes you money. Now I want to tell you what that means. So here's what it means, and this is what we're going to spend some time on. I want you to imagine that you're a fund manager, that you're running, let's even say it's a hedge fund. As a hedge fund manager, your goal is to not lose money and to generate some consistent returns for your investors, but you have to run the business. You have to know what systems you're running, you have to know when you're running them, and you have to operate for more than just a hobby. A hedge fund manager isn't someone who sits down at their computer in their pajamas, presses a bunch of buttons, and then gets up and drives the kids to soccer practice. A hedge fund manager goes to an office, has a staff, has a group of people that have defined responsibilities, keeps the books, knows the profits, knows the weekly profit, knows the daily profit, knows the monthly profit, and makes changes to the systems very slowly because they've committed to a system and a process to a group of investors. A hedge fund manager doesn't look anything like most retail traders that are working at home. And most people like me who are educating you try to rope as many people as they can into their educational programs to teach you systems and to teach you indicators. I don't think that's a great, I don't even want to, I want to be careful about how I say this because I'm so offended by that. Even by my own experience doing that. That's not helping you trade for a living. You need to start thinking that you're a fund manager with responsibilities. Responsibilities not to lose more than a certain amount of money. A responsibility to start by making a small, seemingly insignificant amount of profit and then holding on to it and getting a track record. That's a business. Keeping your books, knowing your daily and weekly and monthly profits. Not setting goals about turning a $10,000 account into a $100,000 account, but setting a goal to think about one day, having someone come to you and say, You're so professional at this. You're so clearly put together that I want to give you money to manage. Like, that's the kind of thing. You're not running this like it's a lottery. That's ridiculous. You're not running this as if the most important thing is the next win or getting it right. You're running a business, and a business has profits. And a business can't go out of business by losing all of its money. That's what we're going to focus on. We're going to spend a lot of time on that, thinking about trading as a business as opposed to trading as a bunch of entries and exits. The entries and exits are easy. It's holding on to it that's mostly difficult. This means that when we build systems, these aren't just trading systems. They're business systems. If your trading business depends on you to be around, you don't have a trading business. You have a hobby and you have a job. And most people don't even think about trading as a job. They don't even go that far. I want you to think about trading as a business where the systems, the trading entries and exits that you run are so well defined that you could write them down and leave instructions for someone. The robots that you run are so well defined that you could leave instructions for someone. That the type of trading that you do is not hysterical, is not action-based. It's letting the trade come to you based. It's based on you waiting for the trade to come to you, and then you place the trade. And it's so well defined that it doesn't depend on you being there, that you could literally ask someone to fill in for you to run it after you've trained them. That's a business. That's something that will run efficiently. Now you might think, well, that's unnecessary. I just want to be the only one. The reason I want to do this is that it's exciting, and I can take a bunch of trades and I can be an active trader. Well, there's plenty of classes inside of our membership area for you, and there's plenty of ways to do that, and you're going to have a great time with all of that. But I'm interested in really focusing with a few of you that are serious about creating a business out of your trading. So here's what I want to do. Like I said, I want to change the way that we think about working together. So I want to have an open office. So what I want to do is I want you to come into my trading business, and I want you to see how, as far as trading is concerned, I want you to see how we're running things and how I run things. So we're going to, for members, for the first time, we're going to schedule dates every 45 to 60 days. And I want you to come out on those defined days. You can stay nearby, and then you can come into the office for 2 days, and we'll open those up, and a bunch of members will come in at the same time, and we'll talk about these topics in person if you want. And we'll sit down together and we'll have an open conversation. And Nate and I are big fans of saying, I might get here at 8 a.m., I might get here at 9 a.m., we might have breakfast together at the diner. I'm not going to sit down and I'm not going to give you instruction. I'm not going to teach you at the whiteboard. We're going to talk about you professionalizing the way that you do your trading. We're going to have honest, open, straightforward conversations. Not about, hey, Rob, can you look at this trade and tell me if it's the right trade? That's a waste of our time. We're going to talk about you structuring your business to be serious about the way that you do this, to be more confident in the way that you run it, to run it like you're a business, not run it like this is a hobby. I want you to be able to go to your spouse and say, this is my trading business. My trading business produced this much in profit today, this week, and this month. And it's not much, but it's profit. My business has these expenses. And my profits are going to possibly and most likely be greater than my expenses by this date and time. My business of trading has some systems. And those systems include a routine that every day at 7 a.m. I look at the robots and I close all the open trades and then I restart all the robots. The system includes a routine where every weekend I restart the server to make sure the robots are running. The systems include every 24th of the month, I start producing my own end-of-month trade report, and I identify the 5 most likely candidates for trades that I'm going to take with very specific entries based on this criteria. And the criteria are listed out in my guidebook, my standard operating procedures for how I run a business. Now imagine what most people say when they go to their spouse and they talk about trading, Nate. What do they say? They say, They start the words with, they start the whole thing with 2 words. I'm sorry. And then they explain to their spouse that they lost a bunch of money and that their expenses are out of control. I want you to be able to go to your family, your spouse, your partner, your friends, and say, I'm running a trading business, and we have a guidebook on how things are run. We have systems and routines and processes in place. We know when the hamburgers come out of the oven that the buns go on top of them, or every morning at 7 a.m. I fire up the computer and I check the robots, I close all the trades. Then at 7:30 a.m. I look at my candidates for end of the month trading and I narrow them down one step further. I know that these are my monthly expenses when I'm doing my trading, and I know that these are my profits. And I know that, for instance, I have these revenue streams, like trade copying. I'm copying Rob's trades, and that's a revenue stream. My robots are a revenue stream. My end-of-month trades are a revenue stream. So you're going to be able to explain to anyone that you're running a trading business and that the processes are documented. That's a whole lot different than most people think about trading. And it focuses on the most important stuff. Now, what I'd invite you to do next as your homework is I would invite you, I'll send this a link in the membership area when we post this webinar, and we send you a link to the recording. The recording will below have a transcript of this entire session today. That will take about a day to get posted. But immediately we'll have a link to 4minutebooks.com, the EMyth Revisited summary. And this is just a wonderful summary of the book EMyth Revisited, so you don't have to buy the book. You can just move through the summary. I don't care about you reading a lot of books. I care about you gaining a lot of wisdom. Lesson 1, having a great technical skill does not mean you know how to run a business. That's the first lesson from this book, meaning just because you know about entries and exits doesn't mean you have a trading business, and doesn't mean it will ever make enough profits to support your lifestyle. Imagine your business as a nationwide franchise from day one, then build the first store. Imagine that you are a hedge fund. Now build your business as if you were. I need to know how much I'm making, how much I'm spending, where my office is, what my equipment is. I need to know what my expenses are. I need to know what my revenue streams are. I need to run it like a business. I need to know this is what my trade size is now, and if we continue, my trade size will most likely be this much larger later on. We'll walk through these things one by one together in our membership webinars. And then having this approach ensures that you build a business based on processes that can be replicated and taught to others, as opposed to just charts and random entries. And today I'm following Bob, the Elliott wave guy, and tomorrow I'm learning about price action from whatever. Anyway, this summary is absolutely magnificent. I encourage you to print it out and make notes on it. Remember, if your trading business depends on you only, then you don't have a business. You have a job like you always did. And in fact, you have a really crappy one. And the reason is because you're always going to have to be in front of the computer, and because no one can pick up and do it if you're not available, and you are tied to it. And that is not enjoyable long term. What I want to do is create an enjoyable, really, really giant stream of income for you. So we're changing the way that we do things. I'm changing the way that I teach you. I'm simplifying the information that I provide. We're going to focus on trading during a certain time, and we're going to focus on learning to build your business the majority of the time. I love you. Thanks for being here, everyone. I know a bunch of you are here as a guest today in our first webinar and call of April. The rest of you are already lifetime members, and I'm super happy that you're here. I'm so glad that we spent some time together. We'll be back tomorrow, and tomorrow in our members webinar, which is not open, it's not an open house, it's only available to members, we're going to take the first step down the road, and I'm going to list all the processes that your trading business should have, or I'm going to list a series of revenue streams that your trading business should have. I don't know which one we're going to start with, but we're going to start with one of those two things, and we'll do a full presentation. We'll go for about 25 minutes like we did today. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you all. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.